What's up, all-nighters?
If you've ever tried modeling a structural truss in Revit and failed or avoided it as a whole till now, this is a video for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to draw trusses and import families, adjust the size and shape of the truss, coat truss elements to fit the structure, and adjust coping distance and other specifics. By the end of this video, you'll master the basics of Revit families, so stick around and pay attention. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to Plan View, then from the Structure tab select Truss, and draw the guideline for the truss. Switch to 3D View to see the truss. If you have a roof already made, hide it. As you can see, the truss design is good, but the material size and fitment of the elements need to be adjusted. To change the material, select the truss and click on Load Family. In the pop-up window, navigate to the Structural Framing folder and choose your desired truss type. And press OK. Once it is loaded, select the truss and from the Properties panel, click on Edit Type. And from the Structural Framing Type drop-down, select the truss you just loaded to change one section of the truss and press OK. The section you changed will be updated. Do the same for all sections to update the whole truss. Now you can see that the size and material of the truss are way better than before. But our work is not done yet. If you zoom in, here you can see that the webs are not actually connected to the main structures. They are just floating in the middle. To fix this, you first need to unpin all the elements of the truss. For this, select all of the elements and from the Modify tab, click on Unpin. This will allow you to modify the elements. Once all of them are unpinned, select them one by one and extend them to the main structure. If you are having a hard time selecting the elements, use Tab or Filter to isolate them. Now there are no gaps between the webs and the main structures, but there's another problem. The elements are overlapping on one another. To fix this, we need to copy the webs. So go to the Modify tab and click on Cope, then select the element you want to cope first, then the structure that it's copied by. If you switch to Hidden Line Graphics, you can see it better. I made a mistake here. Always select the element that is getting cut first. Now do the same for all the elements. Here, this one element is getting caught by two other elements, so the way to do this is to select it and cope using one element, then selecting it again and cope it with the other, not at the same time. Let's continue doing it to the rest of the web. Once done, you can see that the elements are no longer overlapping. But there is one last thing we need to do to make the truss perfect. See these huge gaps between the web and the main structure? These elements are not actually connected. To fix this, select the whole truss and from the Modify tab, click on Filter and uncheck the Structural Truss to isolate the elements you want. Then in the Properties pane, I look for Coping Distance. If you can't find it, it's probably because you selected an element that is not copped. For me, it is this bottom beam. Once it's deselected, look for Coping Distance again. Here it is, and it is set to 20 by default. Change it to 0 to have no gap between the elements. Now the truss is perfect and all the elements are connected. Made another mistake there. You can't go back on copying, so make sure you do it perfectly the first time. That's it, you have mastered the basics of Revit Truss. If you want to learn advanced and custom truss modeling techniques, check out this video or the one in the description, and subscribe if you learned something new.